Okay.
Ready? Okay.
Give me a V.
Vyne.
I wish I could think of a rhyme off the top of my head.
Who's that stupid bitch I see? It's Vayne.
That's pretty good. Off the dome,
Right?
That's pretty good.
This is speaking from the heart. Okay. What a little Coke! Aw.
It's just a wee little thing. Yeah.
It's just a wee little Coke.
Okay, so this is like, I know we're starting super late and whatever,
I don't care.
but I will say that so these were originally intended for the delivery people who delivered the packages and shit to us during the holiday season, and we greatly appreciate it. But it got to be early January, and we weren't getting any more deliveries, and we had 3 more Cokes. So now they're my Cokes. And I brought them inside because I didn't want the neighbors to see me fish it into the cooler for the delivery folk, and just stealing their hard-earned snacks. So that's what that is.
So then you just told all of our listeners
Right?
instead.
You know what? This is like a confessional booth. It's just all my sins laid bare.
Mark stealing the delivery folk Coke.
They got most of them. I did eat some of the Hostess cakes too, but you know,
I mean, you didn't
I'm not
leave
made
it
of
empty,
stone.
you know.
They got most of their Cokes like you got most of your packages, I'm sure.
that's fair. Yeah. Anyway,
Hello, lore heads, and welcome to the League, exploring the League of Legends lore from A to Z. My name is Rebecca.
And I'm John.
my name is Mark.
Today we're talking about the Night Hunter Vayne, who was released May 10th, 2011.
I remember her.
I remember her.
She was a very early champion release after I was hired. She was kind of the first new champion that came out that I was like, I am going to learn that champion.
And you still haven't.
Still
Remarkable.
haven't. She's one of my only mains for years that I never learned how to play with any degree of competency.
Well, you know, you're in good company, right? I always think of Vayne as the original Yasuo, where it's you know, it's this potential massive hyper carry, and that's why but you just know they're gonna just fucking feed their fucking ass. It's making me angry just thinking about it.
That's why there's Vayne spotting.
Yeah,
there was
Vayne
Vayne
spotting.
spotting before the Yasuo 015 power spike.
Yeah.
We gotta try it again, though. Maybe it'll work with Milio, you know, the bonus attack range. We'll give it a whirl.
Maybe,
Sure.
probably not.
Fuck it. Who cares? Do any of our other strats work? Not really.
Yeah?
I mean, you know.
Well, on the Riot Universe page, she has a bio, short story, and some old concept art. I showed John one where it's her, I don't know, her image in game, and then it's tilted to the side, and she has no arms, and she's the most bizarrely thin shape I've ever seen.
And
some-
curved.
She got some lordosis.
She looks... Yeah. She looks like Diana's weapon if it were a human.
She's got, you know how in the splash art they always give women that really big curve that no one can do. It's when she's just standing, that's what her body looks
She
like.
needs to go to
And
fucking
I'm
yoga. She needs to see a physical therapist.
something's wrong.
An ergonomic specialist
Riot.
needs to come and be like, oh, Vayne. Okay, look. Okay, so we're going to move the monitor
What
up
have you
here. Right?
Black magic!
Take some of
Fuck
the
me.
anger and maybe pull it down a bit. I don't know.
It's all the stress that she carries with her. It just bends her back.
So.
You know what I like about that one, too, is that one has, she has crossbow bolts in her, on her boots or something like that, right? Is that right?
On her
It's very
high heels.
Master Yi.
no
There's
less.
been There's been so many weird splashes of hers with her weird ass crossbow over the years. It's great.
Oh, man. I don't think I've noticed.
It's a
Should look up
weird
some
weapon.
I tried copying one in here, but
It
it didn't
is.
work. But we're gonna have to Google it later. Maybe
Sure.
I'll post it in a short or something
Yeah.
because
Oh,
it's
for
the
sure.
goofiest shit I've ever seen.
I mean, she's a really old champion. You know, they've got...
Yeah, I was going to make a joke. I was going to say, and when was she reworked? But, you know, it's funny to me that, or I guess interesting, that she's not really been changed or touched. She's been pretty popular and she's just
Yeah.
trucking since 2011, man.
Props to the champion design team, I guess, on that one.
Yeah, it worked out.
Sure.
Well, what does Vayne sound like? One of the only quotes I listen to, and one of the only ones I remember, is that second one, so I'm going to steal that one.
Okay, good. As long as you give the appropriate emphasis, because that's the best part of that one.
Oh, no. Where's the emphasis?
I don't know.
Is it on the S at the end?
Yeah, and the CS in both those words. It's just like, she hits them so fucking hard,
okay.
It's hilarious.
I mean, I'll do my best, but I don't think it's going to happen. My voice doesn't quite go as low as Vayne's. I'll try it. I smell black magics.
Yes.
Sorry, Mark.
Perfect.
Mark looked like he wanted to do that one.
That was the only one that I remember.
Me too, man.
Fuck me.
You got this, Mark.
I gotta look it up, John.
Just do the same quote. Who cares?
Okay, sure, fine. Fuck it, right? I smell black magics.
Nice.
Let us hunt those who have fallen to darkness.
No, you gotta do I hunt black magics. Or I smell black magics. I hunt black magics.
I smell black magics.
My hunt. My hunt. Really?
My black magic
My
hunts.
black magic hunts.
Well, there's your next song
There's your
right
parody.
there, right?
Oh, man, that's great. All right, so bio.
By
You
Anthony
have
Birch.
so many notes about this bio. You have
do.
like a page long of thoughts.
I have
for
some strong
reason.
fucking
You have some
Vayne
feelings
thoughts.
about Vayne.
It's kind of a long. I mean, it's a kind of a long bio.
It is. It's not
Yeah.
too tough to summarize, though.
No.
So let's get on it. Where do I want this? This is normally not here, and now I'm throwing up. We're using a different mic, and it's fucking me up. I'm gonna hit this so much.
unlike the other mic.
Shut
You
up!
never-
Pristine, untouched. The other microphone was.
I never.
Didn't I?
Vayne. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mike. We should record at 10 p.m. more often. Vayne, or Shauna, not as cool of a name. I can see why she decided to go with the last one.
Yeah.
She was a normal rich girl in Demacia, super privileged, no problems, until she was 16 and some monster killed her parents. The demon was described as a beautiful horned woman.
Could be anyone.
Could be anyone.
Anyone.
Is it Evelyn? It's Evelyn.
Probably
right?
Evelyn.
Okay. I was like, this is probably Evelyn, and then I was like, is she gonna kill this demon by the end of it? And then I don't know. And then it's not Evelyn. There's so few demons, though. Anyway, demon let her live, and then no one in Demacia believed her when she told them what happened. They're like, magic here? No, not in our walls.
Crazy old Vayne, crazy old Shauna.
It's a crazy old 16-year-old Shauna.
This is especially hilarious when you take into account her judgment that we'll get into a little bit later.
Yeah?
Her judgment is so
Where they describe what happens to her parents.
I was curious.
Yeah.
I'm like, did someone go to the crime scene? I feel like Demacia would be concerned about a double murder, but
Right.
I don't know if they have
of
like a
prominent
homicide
family,
department
right? Yeah.
of a prominent family, and then there's this orphan 16-year-old who's running around the streets going, "Demon!" And
She'll be
they're
fine.
like, whatever.
Throw in the Mage Seeker compound. She's probably been afflicted with a touch of the magic.
Oh God, I'm surprised that didn't happen. Vayne decided she wanted revenge, obviously. Needed a teacher, so she went to the Freljord. Oh my God. Her parents said there were like warriors there or something. I feel like Demacia would have been a pretty good place to find an anti-mage fighter to train her, but sure.
I think the reason was the Lysandra thing. They were like, the Freljordians have been fighting against this ice witch,
ice mage.
so surely they're... But, I mean, you're right. There's plenty anti-magic fighters in Demacia.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe no one believes her. No one will. Like, that'd be a good little line.
That's
It's
true.
like, no one would take her because she's fucking nutso. Or so they thought. Right.
...
Anyway, she got to the Freljord, got into trouble immediately. Troll attacked her, but she was saved by a monster hunter named Frey. Frey didn't want to train her at first, but saw the fire in her eyes, etc. Other cliche things.
They fought to a standstill.
A shocking amount of paragraphs talking about how
Right.
she didn't want to train her. Anyway, Frey had lost her family to... Frey had also lost her family to Monster. A troll, I think? To Monster. She lost her family to Monster.
Monster
A troll.
Yeah. Was it a troll?
Monster.
I thought it was just like a general monster or something. I don't
Probably.
remember.
I think it was just something in the Freljord.
Freljord shit.
Sure.
There's monsters everywhere there.
Yeah, so they bond over their dead families, and Frey agrees to go to Demacia and train Vayne. They train together for a couple of years. Frey taught Vayne a lot about dark magic, and Vayne was a little suspicious. How do you know so much about the dark magic? But she's just tucked that away for later. Put it aside. For a few years, they left Demacia's walls to hunt monsters, and Vayne realized she really enjoyed killing things. She was like, this is sick, man. I love being covered in blood and brains and stuff. Eventually, Vayne saw her as a mother type, except the love, not that deep, apparently, as we'll see in just a second. They ended up in Valoran and heard about a sexy horn demon who gained like a nice little cult following there. When they went to hunt her, they were attacked by one of the demon's followers. They just call her like a priestess. Vayne was hit with a mace in the arm, so Frey gave her a sad, sorry eyes and turned into a big bad wolf.
She huffed and she puffed.
She huffed and she puffed.
And she blew her own brains.
Oh my god. She turned into a wolf and killed the priestess. She then turned human again and was telling Vayne, I was searching for some magic after my family was killed, but Vayne killed her before she could even finish talking, and then went demon hunting.
Another day on the job.
Vayne.
Mm.
I have some questions.
Yeah? What?
Mostly it was like, I feel like Frey knew that Vayne wasn't going to be cool with this. And she very quickly decided, I need to be a wolf and show Vayne my powers right now. And I don't know why. They've been hunting monsters for a long time. She seemed competent fighting without being a monster. I feel like I needed it to be a way more desperate situation.
Yeah.
Like Vayne's about to die if I don't do this right now.
Right?
And I have to.
I have that exact note.
Which
surely
I feel like,
there was some other way for her to kill this guy.
I feel like they were trying to go with okay, this is her only choice, but it didn't feel like it at all. And I know it's not a short story, but still,
It's written
we got a
like
lot
a
of
story.
paragraphs about the Freljord and how I don't even know. There were like 3 paragraphs. I don't even know what they were talking about of fighting and weird stuff, but yeah, this didn't make any sense. And then it's so much more heartbreaking that Vayne just kills her immediately. The fact that the only reason she revealed this is because she was saving Vayne's life. And then Vayne's like, I don't care, and puts a bolt through her heart. Also, Vayne, you suck, bro. You suck so bad.
I kind of like Vayne sucking though. I like Vayne as like a villain.
I know.
If this was consistent, I'd love it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not Anthony Birch's fault though. Okay.
No.
Let's make that clear. I think that the turn for the character is more interesting than how she was originally, where she was just kind of like a Batman type.
She was very Batman.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, this makes sense. Is that she definitely thinks she's the good guy and she's fucking not, and that's fun. And I like how genuinely she just enjoys fucking murdering shit. Like, she really takes pleasure in that. I liked the short story. We'll talk about that.
I mean, she's basically Dexter at this point.
She's Dexter.
You're not wrong, the fact that they specifically they use the word pleasure, and I think that's kind of interesting when you've got Evelyn poking around as the demon, right? It's like, we're not so different, you and I,
Yeah, that's true. They do specifically use the word pleasure. She gets pleasure from killing.
Yeah. But I do agree, right? It's like, I think that was the big narrative twist for Vayne, and it's just I don't know, you kind of expect the audience to kind of just come along with the ride with you, right, and not pay attention to the details too much. It'd be nice if the details were a little more ironed
just
out,
a little better.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had some notes.
So I heard.
One, I mean, kind of bad news that your entire goal in life is to kill Evelyn because she's a champion. So bad news.
Shame. fucking bad luck of the draw, right? That is funny, Rebecca, that you're like, I don't know, is this Evelyn? Because is she going to kill her at the end? Because if it's Evelyn, that is not going to happen.
Yeah, that was my thought.
Yeah.
I also love that it said that her parents ended up settling in Demacia after Shauna's birth because more than any place they'd found, Demacians really look out for one another. Like, man, you really got them blue and gold tinted glasses on.
You know, I did think about that line, but I was trying to think, like, okay, Noxus, no. Bilgewater, no. Ionia, maybe. Yeah, Ionia probably would have been a good spot to hang out. Now that I'm thinking about it. Certain
Maybe
parts
the
of the Freljord, maybe.
even. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
then
mean,
you got
who permanently moves to the Freljord? People are born there. You don't decide. This
Right.
is where I'm gonna live
It's
now.
like Oklahoma. It's like...
No offense to any.
I'm only saying that because I'm
Oklahoma
from Texas.
settlers.
I'm just ripping on
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah.
I don't mean it. But, yeah, right.
There was also a line that said, it was kind of like after I think she had committed to being a monster hunter. And it said, and she was done being afraid. Which I feel like would have had a lot more punch if they had literally mentioned her being afraid about anything at any point in the story before that.
She didn't have a personality really before her parents died.
No.
Yeah.
And I will say the old bio, they very specifically mention being afraid a lot as a driving thrust of hers. That line would have made a lot of sense in the old bio, but it's not there.
Well, something about the old bio I'll point out, too, is in the old bio, she's there during the whole attack and is witness to it,
Yeah.
as we see in the
She had to
judgment.
hide.
Yeah.
With the demon taunting her, because the demon knew that she was hiding, just
Yeah.
taunting her while she tortured her parents.
And I like
So that line would have
more.
been perfect.
Yeah, I think
too.
her just kind of showing up and like, oh, what the fuck happened? It's like it's not as effective as like she was kind of forced to bear witness to all of it. And I think her having to go through that makes it feel more like natural that she spun off into this kind of crazy spot that she's in. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that does make more sense.
Yeah. So I do wish they had kept that. It was dark, but I would have liked that a lot
She's
more.
edgy. She's dark anyway, right?
Yeah,
Fuck it.
exactly. And it was funny. I was taking notes as I was reading, and I mentioned, they literally only ever talk. They don't talk about her being afraid. They literally only talk about how hate-filled she was the whole bio. Literally, the next line in the bio is, Vayne had a heart full of hatred. I literally lolled.
And a bunch of money. They mentioned that too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
part of the reason why it's hard to feel bad for her. Like, I don't know, man, you're rich. Buy new parents.
She did, then she killed him.
Yeah, right.
You're right. Vayne.
Is that she needed to learn everything about dark magic, how to track it, how to stop it, how to kill those who practiced it. She needed a teacher. And like, gee, Vayne, where can I find a master of the dark arts to teach me everything I need to know about the dark arts, but who has also never practiced the dark arts?
Yeah, that's just,
She was just looking for a victim at that point. You mentioned the troll who attacked her. So the quote here is, traversing a frozen ravine, Vayne was ensnared by a cleverly carved ice trap. After tumbling to the bottom of a jagged crystalline pit, Vayne stared up to see a ravenous ice troll, lips smacking with anticipation as he gazed upon his catch. And I feel like after reading Trundle, we know one very specific thing about ice trolls, and it is that they are not clever.
Maybe Vayne is even less clever.
That's
the
what
only
I
thing we
literally
can-
have that here. I said maybe Vayne just says it was a clever trap to avoid the embarrassment that she got fooled by some dumbass shit.
I think you're right. But I kind of like it. I kind of like that interpretation that she's just a
Vayne wrote
complete
this
moron, right? Like at the
She
start of all
was a
this,
teenager.
right?
Right? She also found a snowman that had a club sticking out of it.
It's like, oh, this is really cool.
The craftsmanship.
Right?
It's just a piece of cheese, like in the middle of a trap. It's just like delicious.
A $20 bill with a hook in it. Like, fuck me.
Oh man.
All right, let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, when when Vayne was fighting Frey, said, Frey threw snow in Vayne's eyes and subsequently taught her the first rule of monster hunting: don't play fair. And like, you know, snow is not.
It's not
sand.
Yeah.
You can throw that in someone's eye. Like, if it's snowing out, snow is being thrown in your eyes at all times. It's not a big deal.
Think of that.
Oh, that's cold.
How did you see that she just like didn't even blink as a reflex? Her just eyes were wide open as snow fucking pelted her right in the eyeballs.
This is like the Mario movie with the snowballs and Bowser.
Sure.
I kind of love it.
You don't remember that scene.
I remember it. Now I'm picturing Frey like scurrying all about and throwing like snowballs and shit, and Vayne's just standing there like just placid. Okay.
You're not playing fair.
I didn't even get a chance to build a fort. Forts win wars, Frey.
You know what's even funnier? She probably had sunglasses on.
No, that's why she wears them now.
She learned her lesson right then.
Snow in her eyes.
Vayne, why do you wear those? I was a long time ago. Someone taught me a very important lesson because they're having a fun snowball fight with Frey.
See, you know
what?
There
was a rock in that one.
The passive prevents her from taking
battery.
That's.
Is that something people do? What is it?
No.
Oh,
That's not playing fair right there.
Yeah.
Big ass
That's a hard snowball.
Yeah.
See, her sunglasses prevent 1 damage from sunshine attacks. I feel like they should prevent 1 damage from snowball attacks.
I like, yeah.
Just
You're
that
right.
one new attack.
Yeah. Let's see. So after the whole fight, Frey finally convinced, or Vayne finally convinced Frey to teach her. And then it says Frey agreed to accompany Vayne back to Demacia. And like, I don't know where that came from. I don't know why you have to go back to Demacia to teach her.
I guess
you
maybe
literally,
that's where her money is.
I mean, that's where the money is. Like, Frey doesn't seem particularly interested in the money. And it was like already, like, she didn't want to teach her. This seemed like a compromise. Like, fine, I'll teach you. But they're in the Freljord where Vayne wanted to go specifically because the ice switch was, and that's like good dark magics, I guess, to practice against. They're immediately like, hey, why don't you, I know you gave this whole speech about how we're protecting people here from monsters and everything, but hey, you wanna get the fuck out of here? You wanna go back to my place?
Cold, in case you didn't notice.
It's so cold there.
I know, and Frey doesn't have her fur to keep her warm because she can't turn into an animal.
That's
Right?
true.
Maybe that's why. She's like, oh fuck, I can't be a wolf around this fucking crazy. Okay, sure, yeah.
So you mentioned pleasure about the whole killing animals thing, or killing dark creatures thing. The quote here was, soaked in the creature's viscera, something awoke within Vayne. Pleasure. The hot flush of vengeance and violence raced through her blood, and she relished in the sensation.
Relished.
Like,
She likes
I think we all know what happened in that fight.
No, it illuminates.
Something
Yeah, what do you
awoken
mean? What-
inside her.
What was it? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't understand.
So you remember how I said she was like Dexter? It's like Sexter, because
More like-
she really likes.
Can you tell John's never seen Dexter, by the way?
Sexter?
Sexter, more like.
Hey, I've seen episodes of Dexter. Also lost his parents, right? That was a big thing that made him want to kill the people who are responsible for hurting people. That's like Vayne.
I've never seen Dexter, so sure, fuck it. He could be right, he could be wrong.
Vayne fucks his sister
right.
too, right?
What?
What?
I did quit by those seasons, but now his sister, he was adopted, and his sister decided that she was in love with him. It was very strange.
I mean, I
They
guess
didn't bang
Is
though.
In
this
a
an
way.
anime that we're describing here? Like, what's going on?
Let's see. let's see. Oh yeah, earlier in the story, Vayne said to Frey, "Together, we could kill twice as many monsters. Together, we could save twice as many families from experiencing the pain that defined them both." But was also fine with killing Frey immediately. So I feel like all that was just kind of...
Frey's a monster.
Just kind of bullshit.
Well, she's
saving people
doesn't
by killing
care
actually,
about...
That's before she got elbow deep in the viscera, right? Like, she got a taste for it. Yeah. Yeah, there once was a Vayne who was good and salvageable. Not anymore.
No longer. She tasted the viscera.
Right. Could not help but thinking that Vayne is that lawful good paladin who ruins every D&D game.
That's literally what I was thinking. Yes.
The one who's incapable of role-playing anything other than, I would kill you for this, and tries to kill his own party the whole game.
It's funny because I had that thought about, like, the frustrations I have with, like, Rise of the Sentinels. And it's like, I get it that she's not lawful stupid in some way. She's not going to do these certain things. But she does need to be a little bit of lawful stupid. I don't know, like...
Right. Oh,
just a little bit. I guess we'll talk about it when we talk about Rise, I suppose. But I had that same thought ran through my head.
My final note here. So she reminds me a little bit of, like, The Witcher, too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if Vayne was The Witcher, she'd be the bitcher. Am I right?
So the short
up
story.
top.
Mark kind of.
Mark and I high five.
We kind of did it, yeah.
Really.
Yeah, I also had,
John's gonna try so hard to line that
I'm gonna
up.
splice that shit up so good.
hey, I think we got it already. It looked perfect on my end, frankly. I had the Witcher vibes too, and that's why I was like, oh, I remember from that cinematic, her and Poppy. Remember when we did Poppy? We were like, oh, Poppy's got kind of a Witcher vibe, and that seems like really fun because Vayne's all serious and kind of a dick, and Poppy's all like, bright and chipper, and
Yordly.
yordly. Yeah, it's like that's kind of fun to have those two contrast.
Except she would immediately put a bolt into Poppy's heart, right?
Yeah, except she wouldn't.
Yeah,
We've
She
seen
would.
her not do it.
She did it to her mother, her new replacement mom.
yeah, but she turned into a wolf or something like that. I don't know. She turned into a little marmot, and it's like, oh, well, sorry.
I guess maybe that's dark magic. Maybe Yordles are not dark magic.
That's like, I don't fucking know. I don't know how it works with
Who knows
Vayne.
what her rules are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could be that. I can accept that.
Sure. Yeah. I'm open to that.
Yeah. Her short story, also by Anthony Birch.
Yeah.
Called Monsters.
I was really
Monsters.
I was surprised that he wrote these, and then I looked back on the short story and I was like, oh no, it's not really a surprise. Because the short story's got like a comedic slant to it that I really liked.
Right.
Actually.
Yeah,
I was gonna say they like I feel like they took him out of his wheelhouse a lot, and he really tried to sneak as much in as he could.
I mean, I like the short story, but
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
yeah. So it does open like in the middle of Vayne's hunting. They have a name for these things. I didn't write it down.
Ooh.
They're shapeshifters. Is the point? They remind me a little bit of
Yeah.
like necromorphs from like Dead Space, because they're like humans that are getting all weird and fucked up, and they have pincers for arms, and I don't know, like gaping maws full of teeth. And she's fighting this thing, and it kind of goes into detail about how she's fighting it, and it's trying to eat on her. She's only got one shot left, and she's like, "Oh, I could do this, or I could do that, or I could do the most dangerous thing, which is stick my hand inside it and shoot up into its brain." And of course, Vayne's going to do the most dangerous, thing, and kills it. And then the second half is her taking the body back to the widow, because this was someone's husband. And she brings it back to the widow, and the widow is completely distraught. And Vayne's sort of like talking through, like, well, I did this and I did that. And also, the real reason monsters do all this is because they taste the kills taste the sweetest when it's someone that loves them. And the widow sort of like stops her act. And it kind of comes out that the widow is also one of these monsters, and was in fact the original monster, and had bitten the husband, and because it tasted super good because he loved her, and so she had brought him back, and sort of at the end, Vayne's got Vayne has like the whole situation on lockdown. This widow has no way of kind of stopping Vayne, and she's like, why did you do all this? Like, why didn't you just kill me? Why'd you come in and like fake all like your little presentation and everything? And Vayne's like, well, and she kills her. It's like, cause it's fun, and then that's sort of where it ends.
Yeah, it was good.
It's good.
It's fun.
I liked the moment when the widow asked her, was it quick? And Vayne's just standing there and she reflects on what she had done to this monster and just is like,
she's got a bit of his brains on her wrist and like flicks it off.
She flicks the brains off and is like, that was great. That was very Anthony Birch.
I do like how she says, there's no fun in an easy kill after all. Like shooting an unarmed mother figure in the face when she's not expecting it.
That was to get rid of her dead weight.
Maybe she realized that she's like, oh, that wasn't fun at all.
Oh, that was the moment she realized, like, I need to drag this shit out.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What about shooting the creature who she had talked into, the point where basically she already had a crossbow pointed at her head after that whole presentation.
Well, the presentation was fun.
That's the emotional torture is where she that's how you get off.
Don't you want to get off with me?
God. She really did become Evelyn.
Yeah.
Throw the Sunny reference in.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way.
Right,
Such
sure,
a good
right.
episode. I like this Vayne a lot.
Just like a monster hunter who's like reckless and really enjoys making the monsters suffer.
Yeah. This version of Vayne, I can get down with.
Would you would you prefer that to like her having the villain, like the kind of like I said, the sort of villainous slant with like killing Frey? Like, would you prefer her like to like excise that entirely from her, and she's a monster hunter who just she does it because she loves it, she's got passion for her craft.
I could be okay with her having killed Frey if it was just all a little bit better.
I kind of
let's assume like the ideal scenario of how it's written.
Yeah.
If we're saying like, she loves the torture, loves torturing, the other creatures that do the dark magics. I do kind of like just instantly killing Frey. That is like her love for Frey.
I guess that's
just one
true.
bolt
Yeah.
through the head.
Yeah, I kind of like that. So it's kind of like that, honestly.
that works.
Yeah,
That works for her.
I did like the story a lot. I do kind of wish that, like maybe if the monsters had been established as more like, not terribly threatening. Like maybe they were sort of trying to live their life kind of separate a little more. I guess it would make Vayne seem a little more spiteful and vindictive. Like she kind of went out of her way to go kill these monsters. I thought that would be a little more in line with the Vayne that I read about in the bio.
That's kind of like the what is it, the Wendigo episode of Supernatural?
God, John,
trying
that's
to
like
live their lives.
That's like the second episode of Supernatural. I don't
Definitely
know.
season 1.
Yeah, that is literally season 1 of Supernatural.
You're welcome.
I was thinking about Supernatural though with this short story to have that vibe a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, I like I said, I liked it a lot. I like the description. I wish I could remember what the name of these monsters were, because they're kind of fun, and I wish that they showed up more. Like she's got the.
I know.
Yeah, they mention it. I don't think they're mentioned in any other piece of lore anywhere.
I doubt it.
But like she's got the widow under like. She's sitting there with the widow, and the widow's she's like, "Don't even try it." And it's like the widow's trying to form a pincer with her hand, kind of behind her back. I was like, "Oh, that's kind of neat." I don't know. They're cool.
Yeah, it was neat. But are you guys ready to get on to the real modern day Vayne?
What is that?
We're gonna start with Steadfast Heart, the comic that she's in issue 3, 4, and 6 of.
Right. Trying to find the name of these things. I've only seen Shapeshifter so far.
They're in there, I swear. We're just trying to delay the rise of the Sentinels as much as possible.
All right, so I'll just kind of run through. She's in issues 3, 4, and 6. Vayne, is introduced. She immediately starts by opening fire on Senna, which makes sense. She's got that darkness shit that Vayne hates.
That deadly glow.
That mist. Weirdly, she misses all of her shots on her completely unaware target from not that far away, it seemed. So maybe tales of her prowess have been overstated.
She's only good at hunting these monsters who are minding their business in the woods. She's not actually very good at all. She's still falling into these cheese traps on the ground.
Well, after she missed a bunch of shots, then she ran out of ammo. Awkward times for Vayne. So then they offer her a gun that will work on ghoulies. So instead of all that tenacity we hear about from Frey in her bio or her uncompromising hate of all things dark magic, she's like, yeah, cool, I'll take a gun.
I do like the idea that they watched her miss every shot and they were like,
we need her.
Do you want to help us shoot these monsters? You have great aim. Here, shoot my wife. It'll actually hurt her.
Shoot my wife, please.
Go, really, shoot her. Oh god.
Now, issue 4, that's the whole one where they rescue Riven from prison. Vayne has 3 lines in this comic. Her first one is weapons. That's it.
Okay, that fits.
Her second one is, and by the way, this is when they've moved on to Ionia. Her second line is, or weapons.
No.
And her third line is, monstrosity! That's her in the third.
Who is she talking about
great.
there?
It was a random ass bat that flew by in Ionia, but everything there is magical. So she was like, ah! And she shot at it, and then Karma was all like, or not Karma, Aurelio's all like, the only monstrosity I see is that broken sworded bitch.
She said it like that
quote.
too.
That was a direct line. Yeah.
I like the Vayne's like Scooby-Doo. She got spooked by
Shooting it, missing, of course. The fucking stormtrooper of the Sentinels.
Now, in issue 6, Vayne gets kind of angered when Lucian comes back with Akshan. He's like, Senna, wait, I know you're pissed off about this, but you gotta hear this. This dude's gun, sure, it hurts people, but it brings them back to life, too.
And Vayne was like, weapons!
Or weapons? Monstrosity!
Cheese?
But to be fair, that does seem like something Vayne would be pretty upset about. Necromancy probably falls within her realm of
Dark magic.
No, nah.
Nah.
Didn't say the magic word.
Instead of placing a bolt between Akshan's eyes, she shakes a little bit, kind of like the Arthur meme.
Oh, she's got the necromancy.
And Riven's all like, I'm sure he's harmless. Calm down. And so she does. In the big fight with Viego, Akshan says to her, I'm glad I learned how to use this thing, about the relic weapon that she got. And Vayne says, oh, do shut up. And that's her line in that comic.
She sounds fun to be around. I could see why Graves bonded with her.
Yeah. After they defeat Viego with new weapon in hand and their objectives complete, she murders Senna. Oh, no, she doesn't do that, even though she hasn't known them nearly as long as she knew her mother figure, who she killed for way less. After the objective is complete and she has her weapon in hand, she does continue to be a Sentinel. And she is still, even after the whole thing, I feel like Graves was part of the Sentinels of Light, but I feel like he's kind of retired now.
Yeah, he's just back to his usual shit.
Like, Vayne
he
is
had to get
still
back
a
to his
sentinel in Demacia.
Yeah. And like the Rune Terror really specifically has her in her sentinel gear and get up.
Yeah.
I really agree. That's like the biggest missed opportunity. You want to have her in the Sentinels event, fine. Like I said, she's not stupid. She maybe would be willing to work with them against a greater threat. But at the end, she should try to kill Senna, and that should be the twist for her character at the end of that whole thing, right? And now she's out and about with her Sentinel shit, and now Lucian and Senna have something to do that's not, play grab ass with Thresh, right? Like,
Right. So you're going to be a sentinel with us right now, Vayne? I'm afraid not.
she's referencing lines from her own bio. I love it.
Her bio, and they have no idea. They're like, "What the fuck is that?"
And she's also in Rise of the Sentinels, which is largely the same story beats. But one point of interest is that in the fight with Shyvana, after they defeat her, Senna convinces Vayne to lock her in the Mage Seeker dungeon instead of killing her outright until she's back to normal, which would have been after Viego's defeated. So if you think that Vayne went back to Demacia and freed Shyvana from the Mage Seeker compound, you're fucking nuts. Shyvana sat there and got tortured by the Mage Seekers, for sure.
I think everyone fucking forgot. It's all wrapped up. This is not something we forgot, right? I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know. Smash cut. Yeah.
I will say the main part of the Vayne story that I like here is the friendship that blossomed with Graves, which kind of makes sense. Graves is like a lovable, fearless oaf with absolutely no magic of his own. If she's going to be a friend with anyone in that party, it's probably going to be Graves. It's perfect. It's literally the only one in the group without some sort of magic, in fact, if we count being Frostborn as a type of magic, which we should, because we saw what Silas did with that shit, so...
That's true. That's a fair point.
I liked that. And then she's mentioned in The Boys in Bombolini, just kind of in the context that she apparently still sends letters to Graves, which TF steals and reads.
Trust issues, man, let me tell you. But
well, hopefully she never meets TF. She's going to try to shoot him in the heart.
Right? I am very curious, because, like...
Do you need some water, honey?
We're good.
Okay, I have water. Okay.
Me too. But I don't drink water. Blah. I'm too cool.
hydration
I don't know
is
what
cool.
his magic would be considered.
That's a good question, right? I guess I kind of just assume that it's not just magic broadly. It's more...
That's true.
I don't know. I don't know why shape-shifting is dark magic. I can't tell you that.
I know. I guess that's the thing. I'm okay with her specifically targeting, quote, dark magic, but there's no, like, line on what is dark magic and what isn't, really. Like, obviously a demon would probably qualify as dark magic.
Maybe it's like pornography. You just know it when you see it. When you smell it, as it were.
Ew.
Well, she smells dark magics.
The sour...
Dark magics.
Dark magics.
Ew, no.
That sour milk stink gets in her nose and then off to the races, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, before we hop into
porn you
old lore, let's she does have canon cinematics, so let's
That's true, yeah.
So she's part of a few. Ruination's the first one. This starts with Vayne saving Poppy's life. And they work together to fight the undead. At the end of the cinematic, they find the Sentinels of Light logo on a rock or something, which doesn't matter because it didn't end up meaning anything. Poppy doesn't ever come back as a Sentinel. Vayne still knew nothing about the Sentinels of Light when the Sentinels do actually approach her. So that the whole post-credit thing didn't actually mean anything, but it happened.
Poppy would have been such a good Sentinel.
God, I know. That is like such a... God, it's like such a mark, like, I don't know, black mark on the whole thing. It feels like such a fumble that they're like, hey, we got in the cinematic and this is what happens at the end, and they dropped that ball so hard.
Yeah.
So Rise of the Sentinels is really bad.
It's crazy because, man, some aspects of it were so good, and then the bad ones just really just
Stunk it up.
boy.
It's like that's like basic shit. I guess that's my point. It's like that's such a basic thing. Like you, like I said, you just completely left this plot thread to just like twist in the wind, right? Like you can, at the very least, Poppy can show up, and maybe it's bad, but you didn't just like let the point drop entirely. I don't know.
Yeah, there are 3-minute long cinematics. There should be no dangling plot threads.
Fuck, you think so, right?
She shows up again in Before Dawn. Vayne's fighting ghoulies in Demacia and gets attacked by Shyvana. She's able to do some damage to Shyvana's human form, but then she transforms into a dragon, and she has to be saved by Senna and Lucian. They work together to defeat Shyvana and turn her back into a human, at which point Vayne wants to murder her. Senna manages to convince her that Viego is the bigger enemy, then they recruit her. So she decides to work with someone who controls dark magic very readily. No concerns. We're cool.
We're ghoul.
We're ghoul. And then finally, Absolution. Vayne and the crew are fighting Viego. It looks like they've got him, but he pulls the old Uno reverse and guts Gwen instead. Don't worry, she's fine. While Senna, I know. While Senna and Akshan are handling things with Viego, Vayne, Graves, and Lucian are fighting Pantheon. I rewatched kind of that action part of the cinematic. Vayne shoots a bolt right at Pantheon's shield. He doesn't even have to move his shield to block it. That's
classic AD carry against
Pantheon.
Pantheon.
That's her contribution to the fight.
I hit him. I hit something. Look.
It reminded me of Akshan shooting Viego from the beginning, where like everyone does something cool and he's just like pew pew, and it just like hits his shoulder. At the end, Akshan tries to put his arm around her, and she's not having it. She's like, "Ew."
Could you imagine saying that to Akshan?
Fucking
no
ew.
taste.
Yeah, those are kind of the canon ones. She does show up in a few more. She shows up in Road to the Cup. Vayne is played by Imp. This is the one where the kind of one by the Avatar folks, where they're trying to climb this mountain to the big Champion Cup. So Vayne fires a bunch of bolts into the mountain to use to climb the statue, and almost kills Going in the process.
If he had died there, he would have died IRL.
It's true. They don't tell you that, but that's a thing about the cinematics. That's why we haven't seen anyone that ends up dying in the cinematics. And then she shows up in Rise, too, which she really shows up. She's not just a weapon in the beginning. She is played by Uzi in this one, who challenges Ambition's Sejuani in a volcano, which I feel like you kind of feel like Vayne would have the advantage here, given the whole ice thing, but she gets iced, as it were.
You know, to be fair, this is I know you're really loving what you just said, and I'll let you revel in it, but I will say, to be fair, I think I had read somewhere that this is in reference to, you know, obviously all this is in reference to like actual games and shit that happened, and I think Uzi never actually lost against that team, who I don't remember at the moment who it was that actually won, and that's why they don't show
Samsung Galaxy.
Yeah, that's why they don't show Uzi or Vayne actually getting beaten. It's just they just survive and make it through and continue on.
I dig that.
Yeah, so I'll take that interpretation that it was just like he just got out of the volcano, which is a good place to be.
All right. Now you want to hear some old lore?
I do so badly.
Do you want to talk about Runeterra stuff at all? There's not a lot.
Oh yeah, I didn't have any time to look at that, so I'm gonna leave that up to you.
There's not a lot. It you know, this was before Song of Nunu, so it's all a little hazy. I think it leans more towards this is probably what they're gonna do with her, but I mean, like I said, she's decked out in Sentinel gear. She's leading a monster hunt, much like Varus and any other champion in Runeterra. She's got a little gaggle of followers because they need cards. And she's hunting a fucking monster, and it's like the sister of one of the people with her, and she kills it. There's not a lot interesting going on. The only interesting thing is that one of the party members is a disgraced ranger knight who is like super duper zealous, and he refers to her as a cultist, which I thought was interesting. I don't know if it's like the Sentinels thing that he's referring or what, but I kind of like broadly the idea of if you're gonna make her a little softer and not as evil, which I think is kind of stupid, that you've got these other people in Demacia who like start kind of turning it back on her a little bit and kind of making her feel like how she made other people feel. I don't know, except they don't kill her.
This is what I do to people.
Right? Yeah, that's the only thing. There's not a lot. Like I said, she's just trolling around with that Sentinel gear,
looking slick as hell.
Yeah. But yeah, old lore. Let's do it.
Yeah, Bayou has a lot of the same beats, except she wasn't a dick. She was more Batman. She's like detective-y. The whole reason for joining the League, despite her crusade, Shauna has looked at the League of Legends in horror. There are champions who have clearly lost themselves to the blackest of magics, and who have been embraced within the League, even though they should be put down for the safety of all. The time has come for the Night Hunter to execute her secret mission, to purge the League of Legends.
Ooh.
I do know that I told you before this episode that we didn't need the pop filters because I don't use a lot of keywords. I did hit that purge pretty hard.
You really did. I think you would have sprayed me if that pop filter wasn't there. So she wants to join the League of Legends to take down the League of Legends.
Yes.
That's really funny.
To stop video games, she had to become video games, man.
Be the darkness you want to see.
Yeah, right.
Oh, God.
Did you want to take us through the judgment?
Oh, sure. This judgment is interesting. In that
It is.
So it's one of the interesting ones where it doesn't at all take place in the normal like judgment hall. I don't know, the DMV where they're doing all their judgments and the summoner, etc. The opening scene is actually her just hunting a witch, I want to say, in some part of Demacia. It's a neat little action piece. She has like a little like arrow sort of line. She's like, whoever, Hesbeth, whatever your name is, you have fallen to darkness and you are condemned. And then she like she shoots the big crossbow bolt into the wall. You have failed this city. And then
you have failed this city.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. That is so Batman, dude.
they had one idea with her, and it's whatever. And then it's like it cuts to like they're in some guy's house, some summoner's like living room or something, and she just shows up. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing here, Vayne? And she's like,
he's watching Wheel of Fortune.
He's eating soup and shit.
What the hell?
So they kind of impromptu sort of put her through the little judgment thing where they go into her memory and they see her perspective of, like we said, the demon knows that she's there and has already killed her father and is torturing her mom to try and get her to come out, right? And so she has to kind of sit there and be silent, and kind of knowing that in a twisted sort of way she's causing this to happen a little bit, right? Like she if she came out, maybe obviously the demon wouldn't stop, but what's funny is that they get out of it and both the summoners are like totally shocked. They're like it's like you've seen some pretty heinous shit in judgments. You've seen like massive war crimes on a ridiculous scale, but this one little demon. And they're and on top of that, Vayne also kind of, I guess, leading up to that is sort of like they're like, oh, how did you sneak in? How did you get past all of our super duper security? And she's like, the same reason I know that you're blah blah blah, and you drink peppermint tea and you take this route. Like she's scoped it all out. And she's super duper smart and has kind of infiltrated everything. And so they're like, all right, Vayne, well, just so you know, you can't kill anybody in here. It's the League of Legends. We have the revive is still a summoner spell right now. And she's like, yeah, I know, but like you've got a bunch of dark arts people. This will be the best way for me to train and get better at my craft. And like, okay, whatever. And she tumbles off into the darkness, and then this like super secret like Noxian summoner kind of comes out of the shadows, like he was just watching the whole time. He's like, this will end badly. And the other summoners are like, but for who? And then I guess they're like, and let's just let her in. I don't know.
They had some kind of plan for this before they were like,
they gave him a name. What's his name? Like, I forgot. I didn't write it down. His name is.
I didn't write it down.
It's like
something
General
very
Grievous or something like that. It's like something like that. It's like General Angst or something.
Bad guy McDark Magics.
Yeah.
I did write down the quote for the whole torture because I thought this was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's yeah. Go ahead.
"Come out, little girl, come out, or I will do to Mummy what I have already done to Daddy." The crone suspended her mother above the floor of the moonlit kitchen, the poor woman's limbs painfully and helplessly outstretched. Blood slowly dripped from her 100 impossibly small cuts. The young Shauna Vayne was too terrified to move. There she was, trapped, frozen, and forced to watch through a crack in the cupboard door as the twisted witch brutally tortured the woman she loved more than any other. "I'll give you one last chance to come out, lassie." To punctuate, the crone made some mystical gesture that caused her mother to cry out in agony. Even if she'd wanted to, Shauna couldn't even cry out. The vice grip of fear prevented that, which would have been a great place, to put her whole "she was tired of being afraid" line after she decided to hunt the darkness.
Yeah, there's like another line where it's like every moment caused something bright within her to die, and like was replaced with anger and hatred and stuff. It's like I kind of like the little line there, about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I said at the start, having her be there and maybe go through that, just what's described there, I feel is way more effective in explaining her character now a little bit. Her just showing up after the fact is a little like, that sucks, don't get me wrong, but it's like, maybe a little less affecting, I'll say. And yeah, I really do love that after this whole interaction, they're like, well, I don't know, let her into the league, I guess. It's not like we can just say no.
Right? She's going to show up at the league if we say no.
Yeah.
When you say she tumbled away, I like to imagine her rolling like Link in Ocarina of Time. Like, people just just spam roll him because they insist it goes faster.
Your pot's breaking in the distance.
God damn it, Vayne. Go home.
Played a lot of Ocarina of Time. Thank you.
Y'all want to hear about some AUs?
I do.
Yeah.
Look her up. She has so fucking
She has so fucking many.
Yeah.
All right, first up, we got Tales from the Rift, Trick or Treat. You better hope you have the good stuff. Pilt-Over Pops, Strikebreaker Sours, Dark Star Chocolate Bars. Because if you don't, the kids on this block will have some tricks up their sleeves.
Oh, no.
This one's Vindicator Vayne, which has no lore, but it legit just like... if I were to find out that this were just a cartoonized picture of some rioter or like some rioter's girlfriend, I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is what it looks like. Her face is...
Also, the old splash for this is bad.
Oh, where can I find it?
I'm gonna have to like post it somewhere.
Okay, let me see.
But it's hilarious.
Now you got me curious.
I know, right?
Oh, okay, I found it.
If you go to... Okay, nice. Is it the one with like the mangled hand on the crossbow on her back
where she's
too?
doing like this.
Yeah.
What's going on with her right hand? That's the more confusing thing.
I don't know. Everything in the face. What's happening in the face?
Is it like a prosthetic situation in the face? Yeah, don't get me wrong. Look, there's a lot happening in here. This is really requires like a visual.
I can't... Is it this one?
It must be like a...
That's the fixed version of it.
Oh god, how do I find the real one?
Um,
There's like part of it here.
Don't worry, I'll post a picture. It's good though.
Yeah.
Next up, we got The Grind, High Society. The only thing more impressive than their wealth is their tax avoidance skills. This is aristocrat Vayne. Vayne never imagined slaying monsters would bring her fame and fortune. Now that she has them, she finds it terribly difficult to return to a life where her crossbow and arrows weren't made from pure gold. Seems not useful from a practical standpoint and a magical monster killing standpoint.
Right? Why not? That's such a silly explanation for this skin. I'm like looking at it now.
Oh god, I found it.
It's definitely added after. Oh, you found it. Nice.
Oh gosh, I messed up. Why are her legs like that?
You focus on the legs, I focus on the hands. And the face.
Oh, it does.
Huh?
Yeah, look at how, like, if you scroll up a little bit, or scroll down a little bit, I guess, like, her weird hand holding the crossbow, like, her left hand, like, at that weird, like, what are you doing with that thing?
That's fine. It's just the legs, though. She should be riding a horse. She can fit a whole horse under there.
Put a motorcycle like the old ribbon splash.
And they're like, hair, it looks like a horse's tail.
There's a lot of horse imagery
just a horse.
in this skin. Right? Have you thought about this?
Face! Really scroll in on that face. Really?
What type of animal would you say that face?
It's like a horse
Fucking
with glasses, John. It's like, you know, at the end of Dr. Dolittle, when Dr. Dolittle puts glasses on that horse, that's what she looks like. No, would see Dr. Dolittle a bunch of times. I was a big fan as a kid. Anyway, sorry, which skin are you on?
Next we got Dragon World.
Which one did I miss? Oh, the grind. Right.
Twice did Dragonfire consume the world. Twice from the embers were heroes forged. Dragon Slayer Vayne. Many heeded the call of the Dragon Slayers as they mustered their forces from common cut purses to fabled monster hunters. Vayne was one such legendary recruit. For what is a dragon, if not the deadliest beast of all?
I don't know, I've seen that new champion. It doesn't look that deadly.
Have you seen his mom?
No, I can't. It's just a shadow.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Have you seen his mom?
The unseen dragon is the deadliest,
Oh,
as
shit.
Zed would say. Next up, we got Arclight. Once each millennium, an ancient godlike entity descends from the heavens, choosing worthy warriors to be his will incarnate. These beings are the Arclight, immortal agents of the light divine. And this is Arclight Vayne. Empowered by the Arclight, the Slayer Vayne was shown the creeping darkness lurking beneath the foundations of the world. Tasked to fight it back at all costs, she will stop at nothing to drive each new horror from whence it came.
Oh, whence?
And this has a Legend of Runeterra level up, too. Since learning of the darkness threatening to overtake her world, Vayne has fought tirelessly and without complaint. The Arclight has given her strength and stamina unachievable by mortal means, gifts she does not take for granted. Yet even with the power of the Arclight moving through her, the darkness threatens to overwhelm the land, and alone, she is not enough to hold it back. Now we got Project.
Oh, shit, this one's long.
Yeah. Among the megastructures and packed streets of a future controlled by global corporations, a shadow war rages between rebellious augmented humans and newly empowered artificial beings. The winners will shape the course of history, and the losers will be forced to evolve. This one's Project Vayne. Augmented with classified tech, Vayne was once a member of Project's counter-espionage unit. After she was betrayed by the corporation she served, she now stalks the shadows as a vigilante, searching for ways to break Project and their technology that haunts her soul. A fun fact about this one. Although Project Pike says Project Vayne took part in making him the way he is, she didn't. So, there you go.
Is he just like mistaken, or is there like, do you get bad intel?
Yeah, he's just, he's got shattered psyche syndrome.
Shattered psyche syndrome. Oh no.
My uncle had that, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a cream you can take, I don't know.
And there's a short story for this of rats, cats, and neon mice. So Jin's killing folks in this story.
Yeah.
So Vice sent to catch him. She just got promoted on the force. While investigating, she runs into Vayne, who's super powered and super upgraded. And awesome. She kicks Vi's ass and demands the upgrade cube that she was given as a gift for her promotion. Then Vi's partner calls her for help from a real shady black market pretty far away, and she'll never make it in time, so she agrees to trade the cube to Vayne for a ride to her partner. Because she also has a super, super fast, super cool motorcycle.
They decided this is the Batman one.
Yes, this is very much the Batman one. When they get there, it turns out her partner was just trying to make a deal with Jin and sold Vi out for her upgrade. Jin goes ahead and murders her partner. And there's a big ol' fight. We find out that Vayne used to have a whole team but they all died, including Vayne. And Vayne was rebuilt, because that's what Project does when their assets die. They rebuild them.
It's RoboCop.
Yeah. So they're fighting. Jin ends up bringing the building down on top of them before they can capture him, and his head, which is just a drone with insect legs sitting on a metal body in this AU, pops off and skitters away. Vayne wants to stay in the collapsing building and try and get some more shots off, but Vi pushes her out of the way right before she's about to be crushed. Jin ends up getting away, and Vayne is big mad at Vi. And there's a cinematic for this too, called The Hunt, where Vi, Vayne, and Jin are in kind of a big old showdown. Kind of. The entire cinematic is basically them charging up their weapons, along to a Vayne voiceover. And then the cinematic ends right before the fight actually starts, which has some real anime energy.
Gotta love it,
yeah. Next up, we got Spirit Blossom. The Spirit Blossom Festival is an ancient and celebrated time in Ionia when the door to the spirit world is opened, the dead return to their loved ones, and the spirits of all manner turn their eyes towards the living. From the benevolent Kanmai to the obsessive Akana, their stories play out again and again, like shadows on a paper lantern. This is Spirit Blossom Vayne. Vayne came from a lost clan of monster hunters, annihilated to the last when the primordial demon of pain chanced upon their hidden village. Unable to let go and doomed to her own obsession for eternity, she hunts the creature without end, always unable to catch it. And fun fact about this one, from Ionian myth, Vayne represents Tetsugua, a hero that once saved a princess from a demon, and her silhouette can be seen in the Perennial Stories artwork. And she represents the spirit of hate in the Spirit Blossom Festival.
That sounds right.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
And she's in The Ruined King, Sentinels of Light. Though their numbers are few, the Sentinels of Light share a storied history. For years they've fought back the harrowing, aided by an ancient relic stone weaponry that channels their very souls into a powerful light. But all that matters now is the battle ahead, as the Ruined King lays waste to Runeterra, all to dance with his queen once more. This is Sentinel Vayne. Ever striving to become a better monster hunter, Vayne joins the Sentinels primarily to advance her own arsenal and learn from their battle with the Black Mist. It doesn't hurt that she's also defending Runeterra from evil, of course. If she must endure the friendship of a fool like Graves to do it, she will. The cause is worth it. Rude.
Poor Graves.
Right?
Right?
Endora friend. Like,
He's
you're
a delight.
lucky, bitch.
Then we've got Animatech. Humankind is on its last legs, nearly defeated by a high-tech army of deep-sea invaders called the Primordians. Enter Anima Squad, elite fighters using salvaged Primordian tech to push back against the end of the world. To save humanity, they will have to fight like an animal. This is BattleBat Vayne. Vayne is Anima Squad's premier intel expert, infiltrating enemy strongholds to strike first, strike fast, and strike hard. She's willing to do anything it takes to ensure humanity's survival, even if it sometimes means butting heads with the leadership of Commander Fortune. I do like that this AU, they have to like fight like an animal. They're kind of like part animal, part human. You know, one might say, I don't want to call her a shapeshifter. All I'm saying is that she killed Frey for life.
It was a different Vayne, John.
Yeah, maybe this Frey didn't
true, that's true.
shapeshift, and she's like, oh, sorry, you
No,
should have
this
been
Frey
part of the
kills her.
gecko or
Yeah.
some shit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Versus, Nightbringer and Dawnbringer. Chaos and darkness reign through deities of night, bringing change to a static world locked in conflict with the forces of dawn. Order and light reign through deities of dawn, bringing structure to a nascent world locked in conflict with the forces of night. This is Dawnbringer Vayne. An overconfident god, keen to show her potential to the Dawnbringers, Vayne ruthlessly hunts the Nightbringers out of her deep fear of the god's foretold destruction. So violent are her actions that she undermines herself by leaving even more chaos in her wake. Still, she hopes killing Jarvan will be enough to cement her standing within the light.
Interesting. Okay. I realized I kind of forgot some of the details about that AU. I didn't realize there was so much. There's so many. I don't know. I guess I forget about
There's a
that
lot
shit.
of people.
Yeah.
It's surprising. Next we got Be Mine. Set in a world where romance dominates. Each of the champions wear romantically themed outfits. This is Heartseeker Vayne. Take a tumble with Heartseeker Vayne, the season of romance's #1 exterminator of supernatural horrors. With her trusty crossbow, iron will, and years of brutal training, she'll make sure no heart will ever escape her grasp.
That's great. And she killed Mundo in this
Mundo,
splash.
yeah.
Yeah, she did.
But she kind of likes the card. She's like, oh, I would have. If he weren't dead, I would have let him
nice.
in. You know, like.
We got a Lunar Revel firecracker. The Lunar New Year has arrived, and so has the party. With food and festivities to spare, it's all about ringing it in with friends and family. Now strike up a match and watch the fireworks. This one's Firecracker Vayne. Vayne has donned her finest Lunar Revel garb in her endless quest to root out evil everywhere, including citywide celebrations. One would assume it's better not to spend holidays around a grown woman shooting firecrackers out of metal wrist pig, but it's been that kind of year. And this has a prestige skin as well. Vayne has donned her even finer metal garb. Noting the growing anxiety around her explosive shooting metal wrist pig, fashion upgrades solve all problems. And there's a cinematic for this too, called Fortune Favors the Lucky. A pig eats Vayne's Lunar New Year envelope. She and Sejuani give chase. They're intercepted by Silas, who tries to catch the pig, but then settles for 1v1ing Vayne. He's about to kill her, but Tom Kench eats her instead. In his belly, she finds the pig. So she gets the envelope back, and then with her new Lunar New Year magic, she pops out ults and kills Silas.
Nice.
Yeah. We got Soul Stealer. Souls are life, light, power, and in a world without mercy, they are stolen and consumed by remorseless masters of death. This is Soul Stealer Vayne. Once a hunter of all things tainted, Vayne has become the very thing she sought to destroy.
Oh no!
Her twisted mind warps her perception, causing her to see an enemy in every living thing. She takes souls with impunity, with no stain of these vile deeds upon her conscience. And finally, for beasts, a dragon mancers. Majestic dragons dwell in...
Not out yet.
Oh, is it? I assumed it might be like Wild Rift or something. But
No, I think
it
it's...
might also just not be out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be... Oh, it came out yesterday.
Ah,
Sweet,
hey, look at
that
that.
patch, the big old patch. Hey, we're scooping
Cutting
this one. Hell
edge.
yeah. You heard it here first, folks. Majestic drag.
The skin will have been out for over a week by the time
Right.
this episode comes out.
Yeah, well, I doubt any other podcast is going over its lore, so...
That's true.
yeah.
Go ahead, honey.
Majestic dragons dwell in remote places of wild beauty, avoiding mortal affairs outside of rarely bestowing their gifts on only a select few. The Dragonmancers are those fortunate and powerful enough to have gained the ultimate blessing. Whether they then use that for good or evil is up to them, and anyone strong enough to stop them. This is Dragonmancer Vayne. Vayne vowed to hunt the blazing, rotting forces that arose from Brand's destruction. She never faltered, even when cornered on a remote coast where she fought to the brink of death. By fate, her narrow victory coincided with the turn of a new night, and the Midnight Dragon came down to imbue her spirit with blessed darkness, sharp as draconic scales.
Ooh.
Okay.
It's really cool looking.
It is cool
Yeah.
looking. I kind of want it.
You probably don't have a skin past like 2015 for Vayne, John.
You're probably
This
right.
is the one.
I think Dragon Slayer might be the only Vayne skin I have.
Oh yeah, get this one.
Then I could have matching Kaisa and Vayne skin.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yay. Y'all want to hear some fun facts?
I do.
Yeah.
Vayne is voiced by Nika Futterman.
Noise. Fucking a million years ago.
Yeah, although Project Vayne and Sentinel Vayne are voiced by Alexa Khan, who also voices Vayne in Legends of Runeterra, and she voices Sivir.
Oh, like the current Sivir, right? Like we're in Runeterra Sivir, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Vayne's dance is the gun kata from Equilibrium.
Fuck yes. Damn, I want to play Vayne now.
Yeah. Vayne, Aatrox, and Viego are currently the only champions with an ability named the same as their title. Vayne's got the Night Hunter, Aatrox has the Darkened Blade, and then Viego has the Blade of the Ruined King. And Vayne, Warwick, and Trundle are the only champions without any damaging area of effect abilities. They're single target specialists. Vayne was nearly cancelled due to her concept artist being unable to properly concept her with the big hat. So originally, kind of like Caitlyn has, her original concept art was supposed to have her with a giant ass hat. And the concept artist drew like 100 of them, and they all looked dumb as shit. So they're like, all right, this is never going to work. We're just canceling this champion. And finally, out of frustration, they were like, well, here she is with no hat. And they're like, oh, actually, that though?
Oh my god, I want to see all 100 of those illustrations.
Yeah, I think in the concept arts on the universe page, they have one of her with it's like it's like a witch hunter from like Warhammer. Have you ever seen in Rat Game? There's one of them kicking around. Yeah. Vermintide is the actual name of it. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, they really wanted it to be one of those those classic, I feel like, vampire hunter type
like
hats
Van Helsing,
you get like a V Rising type shit. Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Vayne was the first champion to have a voice line play for learning an ability. Which when you learn Silver Bolts for the first time, she'll say "Silver of the Moon" or whatever the fuck.
Whatever she fucking says.
Yeah, who fucking cares? And finally, Vayne was the first champion to have 2 mythical skins with Soulstealer Vayne and Prestige Firecracker.
What the hell are mythical skins?
That's a tier of skin.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I never know.
I honestly don't even know where they fall in the hierarchy. I think it's maybe the second highest.
Probably something like that, yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
That's Vayne.
That's Vayne.
That's not a lot of fun facts.
How we feeling?
I feel like the most recent stuff we've gotten about her has been kind of like disappointing, just because it feels like Riot wants to kind of get away from that dark streak and just get her back to being like a Witcher type, probably, which is just kind of like whatever, you know.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I do like, I don't like Old Vayne. She's a bitch, but I like the character of Old Vayne. I think it was it's a lot more compelling.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
I think you can. I don't know. You can have more fun with it. I feel like. I think current Vayne, you can slot into any story anywhere, and it doesn't fucking matter. It might as well be any other character in the world. I feel like if they had really stuck to their guns, then they could be doing some cool stuff.
They have a hard time with characters being villainous that don't appear villainous. They want very certain clear villains, I guess. And Vayne really wasn't that for them, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I definitely like her more as a villain, and I really like that comparison of Evelyn, and that she is taking pleasure in killing monsters the way a monster is taking pleasure in killing humans, and that reflection is so much more interesting than her just being a kind of Witcher type.
I
hurt people.
Oh fuck!
All right, damn. Fuck, man, you're right. All right, well, that was Vayne. Thank you so much for listening. We have a Twitter, it's @loreheads, and a Twitch, twitch.tv/loreheads. John streams on Saturdays. He does TFT and ARAMs with viewers. He's very good at TFT, so if you want to learn something or make him do a stupid-ass comp,
I do stupid ass
He
comps
does,
upon
yeah.
request.
Upon request, sure. Then he'll do that. Yeah. What else do we have? YouTube. We post videos of these and shorts. Well, John will probably post some shorts of that goofy Vayne skin if you want to see it.
Yeah, I probably will.
It's worth it.
You gotta do that.
You gotta see it.
And some parody songs, and maybe we'll have an upcoming Vayne one. What the hell did we even do? Again, I don't even remember.
It was my lumps. It's probably not going to happen, I'll be honest. But there is a fairly new one on there. Yeah. So
it's my hunts, John. My hunts.
Nobody knows what that means.
That's fine. It's provocative.
Get some people going.
Quay would love this. Quay would love this.
We have a Discord. You want to find some people to play League with or chat about the lore? Please join our Discord. And we have a Patreon. Thank you so much to all of our patrons.
But a very special thank you to our Medarda tier patrons: King of Hearts, Mr. Dead, Big Man Gnomes, and John Has a Dig Bick. If you guys were practitioners of the dark arts and Vayne was after you, I'd fight her for you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Love it.
And I'd win.
Oh,
okay. Well,
you just have to put some cheese in a trap, apparently.
Right?
Dropping like Looney Tunes,
if
like
troll,
cuddle the wall.
If a troll can catch her, I think you can catch her.
I can do it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, be sure to join us next week for what I believe is going to be an entire episode just of impressions as we talk about the tiny master of evil, Vagar.
Fuck yes.
Nice.
Oh my god.